episode right now, and hopefully get a special guest later on in the show. Today, we're just gonna be chatting it up today. Don't know what the show holds, but we will figure it out as we go.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what you want to start off with today?
Uh, do some quick football since football season kicked
Yeah,
off. Might as well
yeah.
2-0. So I'm ecstatic right now.
Over there at Tampa Bay.
But yeah, a little bit of football. Season's interesting so far. It's a lot of parity. Um, you never know what you're gonna get. It's very entertaining game so far. So I'm really hyped. Bucks
Mhm.
fan. So my team is with 2-0 in the NFC right now. I'm
Mhm.
looking for the Super Bowl. We just got a new wide receiver that we
Mhm.
picked up off the streets. We got Cole Beasley, from Buffalo Bill.
You got Cole Beasley?
Since we got Cole Beasley, I mean, there was a little fight this weekend, a little pushing and shoving incident on the Saints.
Yeah.
That was really interesting. Tom Brady was really the instigator, which nobody really said. Tom Brady was walking to talk to a referee. Somebody said something to him. They started yapping, and once he started yapping to Lattimore, Lenny came in and pushed him. They pushed him back out of nowhere and just took him out of the screen. So
Yeah.
one game, and we're already down. My Julio, Chris Godwin has still got a hamstring, so our top three receivers out. We in the spot. We're gonna bring a little Cole Beasley, and then we play good old Aaron Rodgers them this weekend. So I'm in, and then but this weekend was the Dolphins and the Ravens. That was. Did you see that at all?
Uh, I didn't watch it live. No, I just saw. I kind of kept up with it as it was going, as I saw the highlights and like saw the Bleacher Report stuff, but I didn't catch it live.
Yeah, a little bit because I thought it was over. Like I just watched the scores, and I was like, "Oh, they're losing by game's over."
Yeah.
Next thing I know, a highlight goes across the screen, and I see Tyreek Hill, peace out sign, and next thing I know, it's a tie score, and I was like, how does Baltimore, like you're a Super Bowl contender, in the fourth quarter score 21 points? It's madness. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't bet on that. I'm glad I didn't bet on.
Because like you said, like there was a lot of games this weekend that looked like that. Like, because it didn't look like that. You said first half. That was you would have thought the game was over. Like you said, like the highlights in the first half versus the highlights in the second half of that game were two different. Like Lamar Jackson was just out there doing whatever. Ravens were just scoring points like nothing. Second half, it was all Dolphins. And like there was like I think I saw like highlight I saw like both of the Tyreek Hill plays. Like the first touchdown, they just like didn't they forgot to cover him. And like yeah, like one guy went in motion and they just kind of left him on that side of the field by himself. And he kind of just like wearing like a little wheel route kind of thing, went to the flats, and then like looked up, was like, oh, there's really no one here. Just wait for the ball. Two got the ball. He kept going, and then the other one it was like just a Tyreek Hill type of play. He behind somebody, and he score. But like the game that I watched, it was funny to me, super hilarious. Was the Raiders and the Cardinals game? Because I had my boy. We were watching the Raider game here. He was hyped. Wings. taquitos, beer, shots. We were doing the whole nine. Raiders are up 20-0 at halftime. This is coming off of the Chargers loss on Thursday Night Football against the Chiefs. So I was like, ah, man, like I didn't want them to win, but like I was like, hyped, like hey, they were up 20-0, and I was like, yep, the team that dropped 44 on you guys are up 20-0 on. Like, feel good. You guys might be actually good this year. Like hyping them up. And they were talking fantasy, right? He has Kyler Murray on his team. He's like, man, Kyler Murray has like 6 points for me. He has nothing for me. Like, I'm gonna lose this game, and I bet $25 on this game. And I was like, well, you guys are up 20-0. Like, you could afford for him to score, a touchdown or two. And he's like, yeah, hopefully he gets the running touchdown, like compared to a throwing touchdown. That way, I get more points in fantasy. Blah 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 blah. And I was like, yeah. So then, like, fast forward, they kind of like they get the ball, they score, they get one like super long drive, they score. Raiders get the ball back, and like it's like 4 minutes left, and he's still like celebrating. It's still like a 2-possession game at that point. And then, like it was like they're up by 8. They were up by 8, and they're like, oh, they're not gonna be able to get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. Blah blah blah. The Raiders keep the ball for like 3 minutes, and they punt the ball to him with 1:36 left. And I was like, I would feel pretty good right now. This is my team. Like, you have to score. It wasn't like the whole field, but you have to go like, let's say at least 60 yards and get a 2-point conversion. Like,
I feel pretty
probably
confident.
Like 70. Yeah, you feel like solid compared to like how the game is going. Like, like I said, I was watching the game. Kyler Murray had like, in the second half, what they started doing was started running the read option and RPOs, and like the Raiders just fell apart. Like they didn't like Kyler Murray's ability to use his legs in the RPO action and like the zone read game. Like the Raiders struggled really really badly with that, and so they just started exploiting it. Like they were down, like I said, down 20 in like the fourth quarter, running the ball. Like the whole time, like the Cardinals did themselves no favors as far as time, concealing it, like concerning it as well. I mean, it didn't really matter. They said they scored with 0 time on the clock anyway, but like they said they were down like 14, run the ball in the second half, and I was like, or fourth quarter, I was like, this is crazy. Like they just gave up, but at the same time, they're moving the ball so well. It's like it's pretty much the same thing. Like RPO was out of bounds, but 3 like zone reads, if Kyler Murray hand the ball off, the next play was a pass for sure. Like if he kept it, he might do it again, keep it again, but if it was like really backyard football, just toying with them. Like I said, it was like a minute 36, and he was like, He's like, it's kind of close now. And I'm like, yeah, I would like forget your fantasy and worry about your team for real. And he's like, yeah. Like, now I want to stop. But he's like, I don't expect us to lose, but now I want to stop. And I was like, yeah, for sure. And then boom, they get down there, same thing, Kyler Murray running around, blah, blah, blah. He scores a touchdown. And I was like, wow, like, that's unfortunate. Like, that's not what you guys want right now. Like, all this stuff like that. 0 time on the clock, but he's still like, hopes are high, all this stuff like that. I would not be at this time, but like, that's just me. He's a Raider fan, mind you, so I'm not sure how this came to be like this false sense of confidence. But he was confident. They got the 2-point conversion, they scored, and they go to overtime. And I mean, like, at this point, I was like, you guys kind of suck. Like, you sold the game, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling him to his face. He's like, yeah, we sold the game. Really mad, blah, blah. But my hopes are still high. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Overtime comes. They don't get the ball back. And his face goes zoom, like drops. He's like, crap. And I was like, yeah, like their offense is super fresh and been doing this for the whole second half. You guys haven't done nothing on offense, but that 3-minute drive, that was like, that ended like 2 bad. And the thing on that 3-minute drive, they had 2 bad incompletions like in a row. So this is gonna be funny. He's about to walk in, but really bad incompletions. I'm talking about your Raiders and that Cardinals loss. It's all right.
I'm done talking about it.
But
I already moped for 4 days, 3 days. I don't need to cry about it anymore.
but just the craziness of like they threw two completions in a row, to stop the clock. The Cardinals got the ball back and was like, oh, like that's not good, blah blah blah. No, sorry, the Cardinals get the ball first at a halftime, and then like they go and the Raiders stop them on defense. Like the Raiders stopped the Cardinals on defense after the Cardinals got the ball back. Like I was like, oh, you guys won the game. Raiders system. They're gonna get just enough yards to kick a field
Right.
goal and win
Ball
the
game.
game. It's with the best. Like I feel like it's weak, but they have a really good field goal kicker. But like that's what it is. Like they're gonna get in the field goal range, and after field goal range, they're gonna stutter and they're just gonna kick a field goal. Like it's gonna happen. They get the ball, they go, and in our game, Hunter Renfro, they threw the ball to him in the fourth quarter. Same situation, he fumbled. They got the ball back. Reverse to this game, overtime, similar situation. He gets the ball, fumbles. They recover it though. Very next play, gets a wide receiver screen, throws it to him, gets it, fumbles again. They take it for a touchdown and a scooping score. And I mean, like, me and him were just like shocked, like no other. Like, it was one of the craziest
how
games
did that
I've
just
seen.
happen?
Like, I froze. I was like, wow. Like, because I just did not see that coming. Like, I thought they were better than that. Like,
well, now that's the cool part with fantasy though. Helps with a lot of games, especially if you're betting some money, But yeah, that's your team. Like, but I don't want to lose to make this money. That's
right. So, for example, for me, week 1, I had Devontae Adams, and he had like 141 yards, and I was at the game. Rather, to be fair, at the game, it did not seem like he had as many yards as he did. Like, I think I'm not sure why that was a thing, because when they pulled it up, like in the third quarter, and they showed me, he's like, oh, he has like 100 yards, and I was like, 100, and I was like,
right.
well, damn, like I don't know, it was that much. Like I just feel like it was a bunch of like 10-yard outs, and he got like 7 of them. So like, it was like 100, and he ended up with 141, and I was like, like like in the game, in the moment, did not seem as bad. In the stat sheet, I was like, whoa. So he got me 30 points that week. At the same time, it was against my team. Like we won a game, but like I was like 30 points, like we gave up 141. Like I feel like that's not a stat that I like my team to give up. Like if a star player does that. Like,
but you won though, so at the end of the day, sort of, kind of, like you don't want nobody. You never want nobody.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna get this weekend.
Yeah,
but those are some. Like I said, that's why I think interesting games. I need to do I'm gonna bet a little money. What do you use? System a little better with like FanDuel or whatever system they have.
I've heard good things about FanDuel, but California technically still can't get FanDuel.
Y'all can't. Which one do you guys have to use?
We don't have one
yet. DraftKings. What?
Yeah, they're voting for it to pass it right now. We can't do it. We can't do online sports betting in California. You have to go to the casino.
Oh, that's so. Like we have a casino here,
and that's
I went in. I was looking at all the lines, and I realized I couldn't make any money. So, meaning a couple other things. Like the most I could do, for the most part, is double my money. They aren't set up for me to like hit anything. All along odds are who's gonna win the $100 that says the Saints are gonna win the division. It might be like 150 to 1. It's like I want to take long shots, but all the sure bets you're not gonna win any money. Like, I guess the casinos and they're pretty smart.
Yeah, like they make you. I feel like that's what it was like. I feel like people. That's why people. I feel like they put so much money into like certain things because they all just the hope of this. Like they put in those like the weird parlays are the ones that can make money off. I see like the interesting parlays like a safety on the first play or something like that, where like you put $5 in, like you just throw away $5, but like at the one chance that you get it, like you hit big, but it's like, or you put $30 in. Like I know a guy used to do like 3 and outs on the first drive, and that's always like a good one. Like I always feel like that's a good one to do, like because like from the get, like the first kick you're just on your feet, and then it was like another one that I seen before that I thought was pretty good that I think you can make some money off of, but I don't know how. I don't know where it was, but it was like the first drive of every quarter, and you like has to end like in like 3 points or something like that. So it's like, first drive, offense or defense, whoever gets the ball, like they drive down the field, kick a field goal first quarter. Second quarter, the other team drives down, or the same team could drive down, kick a field goal on the first drive, like right after the quarter like switches. They have to, like kick a field goal on that drive, and that one was like a big money one.
That is the sports lines. Like there was like this week Dallas beat them. Oh, who did Dallas beat? Dallas beat somebody. Cincinnati.
0-2.
And Dallas was in Vegas, which didn't make sense. But they ended up winning. So Vegas knows something, or whoever does those betting lines, knows something in a million years that put Dallas. I mean, I get it. Dallas defensive line, Cincinnati's offensive line, which sucks.
Yeah.
And then number 11 on Dallas, Carson's like, I saw him firsthand. It's a bad dude. So based on, and they ended up pulling off the games. So this weekend, I'm gonna kind of watch that to see who
if you could get
Vegas is favored, just to see if it kind of holds true, because they don't like to lose.
Yeah, I want to look that up now. That's kind of interesting.
It was
Vegas, because they were favored. I remember that.
Yeah, with a backup, your
Cooper
backup
Rush
quarterback.
Yeah.
Now,
who wasn't on the team?
The first week we played Dallas, Cooper Rush did better. Really? Dak Prescott couldn't move the ball. Cooper Rush came in the game.
Is Cooper Rush raw? I think he might be nice though.
Nothing special. I mean, probably taking what to me, he probably took what the defense gave him. Like some quarterbacks, like one of my favorite quarterbacks, James.
James is wrong. Wait, why is he playing with a broken back?
I don't know.
Why is he playing with a broken back?
I don't know. Like, it ain't like the whole time I was like,
he gonna die.
If you get hit back,
and I feel like against you guys,
trying to win.
They hate him.
Yeah.
They hate him. Lamonte David was like, yeah, we were going to try to pick him off, but I know they was coming after him. Like, I know they would try to send people after him.
1 or 2. We know
I
Jameis.
just, but with a broken back, he broke his back in week 1. That's the Jameis thing to do, though.
You got a couple
uh,
of vertebrae broken. What you gonna do? I'm playing. I'm playing. Like you don't want to rest and let them heal up.
the pain hurts everywhere. That's why.
Like everybody in the locker room is playing with pain.
Yeah.
Like some stuff, your neck and your back, I feel like you shouldn't mess with.
Now what I do?
Your neck and your back, I feel like you shouldn't mess with. Oh, special guest on here.
Say what?
I said we
What
got
you say?
a special guest that done chime. What's good?
So how y'all doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Just on here talking a little bit of football.
What? Talking about what? How the Dolphins came back on the Ravens?
Yeah, we
How
touched that one just first 2 weeks ago.
how Buffalo beat up on Tennessee last night? Where you want to start at?
Yeah, that was
what's your team?
I watched that one.
Tampa.
Are you really Tampa fan? Or are you just a bandwagon fan?
Tampa had a struggle until the fight.
What do you think about Jameis?
You ain't hear him. He said, "Are you a Tampa fan or you a bandwagon fan?"
No, I'm a Tom Brady fan.
Oh, okay. You're a Tom Brady fan?
Yeah.
How are you one of them?
Huh?
You one of those people?
Yeah. I'm a Tom Brady fan.
All right. Respect. He's
Amen.
a good dude. He's a good, heck of a player. Heck of a football player.
Yeah, I'm a Tom Brady fan.
Can't beat him.
So
now hold on. So
Tom,
like they always say the GOAT, right? So and to me, like basketball, all of it is subjective. Like who, but is Tom Brady? Like they like to call him the GOAT. We think about football. You can't really have a GOAT, you know, like overall.
in football,
So if you go by position, yeah, I don't think you could have it in a sport really, where you say like that's the so like in football, I think you could have the greatest quarterback of all time. Like
amen.
Tom Brady would be like the greatest football player because you know he's a quarterback.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I agree.
Can't be.
In football, it's more difficult because you have all the different positions.
Yeah, 22.
You know, you got a quarterback, running backs, wide receivers, DBs, defensive linemen. I mean, you got so many great players until it's almost impossible. With the great.
Yeah. I feel like you can say quarterback, but then at the same time you can say like there's some good quarterbacks who
In the lead position.
Huh?
The quarterback has always been the lead position in sport. So they always start with the quarterback being the GOAT, the greatest of all time. But then what about Jim Brown? You know, what about the wide receivers like Jerry Rice? You know, what about Lawrence Taylor? And it had been some great football players in different positions.
Yeah.
So that's very and I love Tom. You know, Tom the boy, and he definitely, without a doubt, you know, when they talk about Tom, they try to throw shade and say, well, Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback at the position to do different things, and all kind of foolishness. So they want to to Tom because he got the rings and he got the most yards and he got the most touchdown. It don't make him the GOAT,
But
but it does. You know, Tom is you got to take all that into consideration. You know, longevity, uh, accomplishments. But no, I agree. I don't think you could pick one football player as being the GOAT.
right.
I really don't. Because you can't tell me nobody would bet Jim Brown. Jim Brown, boy, was off the chain. And, there was not a human being that played the game of football that was better than Jim Brown.
I saw highlights
I don't believe.
of Jim. Like I saw a lot of highlights of Jim. Running back, you know, in the NFL, the running back used to be the man. Like the way the
Amen.
quarterback is the man now, backs used to be the man back in the day. And then somewhere along the line switched over. Because I remember you had him, you had then the Walter Paytons come along, Campbell's. It's a bunch of them.
Even with the Jews, you know, like the Jews breaking loose, you know, O.J. Simpson. You know, they still they don't give the Jews credit, man. Jews was a bad boy. You know, O.J. Simpson was special. Even in college, the year that Gary Beeman won the Heisman Trophy, O.J. Simpson junior year, O.J. should have won it that year. So he should have won it back to back. But he didn't win it that year because he had just come from junior college. So Gary Beeman won it from UCLA. And then the next year, his senior year, they couldn't do nothing but give it to him.
Right.
Because he was already the best in college. But they gave it to Gary Beeman because O.J. had just come from junior college. And I don't know, Gary Beeman, he couldn't touch O.J. Simpson. But, you know, back then, O.J. came in second behind Gary Beeman in that year, whatever. I forgot what year it was. But O.J. was runner-up. And so the next year, you know, everybody in the world knew who was going to be the Heisman Trophy winner. Orenthal James Simpson, better known as O.J.
So we got any good games on the slate this week?
Tampa and Green Bay should be interesting. Buffalo and the Dolphins should be very, very interesting because now you're going to find out how good a quarter tour is and what kind of team the Dolphins have. Because Buffalo ain't jiving. Buffalo ain't jiving not one bit. If you watched the game last night, they tried to stomp Tennessee in the ground.
Yeah.
So
Tennessee, Jalen Hurts. I gotta give a lot of props to Jalen. I wasn't expecting that from them. I watched all of that game and a good team, you know. So but then think about it. You got all these Jalen Hurts. You got Tua. Both doing they thing. Alabama quarterbacks didn't used to do that.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. You know, you got two distinctly different quarterbacks that and one took the other one's job, and now they both turning, you know, both of them doing well. You know, and I always liked Jalen Hurts, so I always was a Jalen Hurts fan. And
he was always better.
Jalen Hurts.
He was.
Yeah.
I said I was always a Jalen Hurts fan. when people when Tua came in and took his spot and won the championship that year. That was but you know how Nick Saban and Nick want to win. So what Nick did, Nick had some great wide receivers. He had Judy, Waddle, and all those boys. And at the time, uh, uh, Hurts couldn't throw the ball like Tua, so he needed somebody who could throw the ball to them speedsters in order for him to win another championship. So he changed from Jalen Hurts to Tua. I mean, that was an easy choice in college. But that didn't, that didn't mean that Tua was quarterback in Jalen Hurts. It was
No,
he
because
was just better for the system.
that next year in the national championship game, Hurts came in for Tua, and he won that game.
Man, that's a good point.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, Tua was just better for the system at the time, and so he but when it got right down to it, he had to come in and save the game for Tua. I mean, Jalen Hurts did.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then he went on and went to Oklahoma, and he was signed at Oklahoma and show people what he could do. And and he wasn't a top number one pick. They picked him in the second round, but I just always liked Tua. I mean, Jalen Hurts. And now,
Yeah, he was
he's the type of player that he works on his game, seems like every year. And now, they were showing some clips of some things he was doing. I mean, he can squat 500 pounds, so he can run. He can run. He's been working with his quarterback coach in California, who worked with Tom Brady. So he's working on his passing game. He's improving. He's gonna get better every year. So I don't know what Tua is doing, but Jalen Hurts, he's gonna get better every year.
right.
Yeah, I think
that's gonna be a good
offense right now for him now. Coming with that what is that? The San Francisco running scheme over there. It's a run heavy offense, super run heavy offense. But I feel like people don't give or people are not paying attention to. Like they run the ball really well, and their running scheme is really good. Their play action scheme is how they scored all their points. Like running off of play action. It's not like Tua's jumping back 5 wide and just doing that, like doing his thing. Like you said, there's a system that Tua's running over there for the Dolphins. I think it's like the perfect system for him. It's not.
Amen.
It's similar to Alabama, what they got the speed receivers and the heavy running scheme. Like it is, because I heard the interview of what the guy talked about the game. He was like, "Oh yeah, I just kind of looked around and was like, what do I have? What do I think could work, and how can I make it work?" And then he was like, "I know this guy came from Alabama. We had 2 Alabama guys over here." So then I was like, And then that was into the clip. And I was like, yeah, buddy saw them working to Alabama. I'm like, you know how to do this. Like we have to use the NFL version of it, but I have my NFL running scheme that you can take from Alabama. Just going to get you, 6 yards of carry. So you can work with, second and short. So you a slant route to Tyreek Hill, who's untouchable, fastest person in the game. And you got Waddle, who's not as quick and is twitchy, but in a straight line speed, ain't nobody touching him either. So
Amen.
You got the perfect things for him to work with, like a big old tight end who's like 6'7", and he still overthrows him, but it's all right. We don't got to talk about it. Like we got perfect weapons for him.
Amen.
Right.
Like,
Amen.
That makes sense.
I like the new age coaches. I would say for example, I'll say the Staleys. I would say the McDaniels. Who else? Brian Daboll with the Giants. Even though the Giants are terrible, but what he's going over there with those people over there is kind of working. Like these new age coaches who form fit their offense for their players and not take in their preconceived systems. Like a guy who could take players and create with them. Like Andy Reid is a perfect example. I feel like no matter what team Andy Reid has had, they're always doing some stuff that's I'll call it unnatural, unform fitting, but you can't tell me that they're like underhand shovel passes. They're jet sweeps with Tyreek back in the day. Like they do creative stuff to use their players in all different types of ways, and like I think these
I mean,
coaches
you
who
pick
do that get the most out of it.
a smart because, like you said before, it used to be you bring players in and you try to make these players, and that don't always work. Versus taking the players, and that's a sign of a good coach. You take
Amen.
the players and then you get
A
the
good point.
best out of them.
That's a
Now,
good
but
point.
I will say, um, like when you talk about players, right? I'm gonna talk about a quarterback for the Chargers this week. I thought this
Mm-hmm.
dude should have came out of the game. Um,
Yeah,
in real life, but
like real life.
he did not come out of the game.
I can explain
Um,
to you how I feel right there. Like, so like, see, like you said, like watching the game, you know, I'm rooting for them, stuff like that. I'm watching the offensive line not do their thing. And so then I was like, oh, this seems like a similar situation to what we had before. You know, we had like Phillip Rivers back there, you know, just dodging people, trying, you know, not as mobile. We got just Herbert, but then we invested in the offensive line. I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like, you don't have to keep the dodging thing going. We could just sit back and throw the ball, you know, some Tom Brady like style. Uh, then the right tackle goes out, center gets hurt. You know, he said gets smashed a bunch of times. The playbook, like you said, like he's rolling out to the right instead of throwing the check down that's like 15 yards away. He like drops the ball damn near on the floor because of the pain, and then walks into the huddle. Like they didn't call timeout, which we had two remaining. It was incomplete pass, so the time the clock was stopped, so it wasn't like he needed to run or rush or anything like that. Like the clock wasn't moving. He proceeds to go into the huddle and then throw like a 35-yard post route on the money. Like there's no
in the
possible
tightest
way
spot
on the money. And I was confused as all get out. I was like, what the hell? Like
Amen.
you like
Amen.
I don't know, like I feel like I pride myself like being tough and like taking hits, but like I feel like you can't even if you can't throw the ball out of bounds, like he dropped the ball. Like
he dropped
I thought they were calling a fumble, like he's like it was running, was like, I can't. And I dropped the ball out of pain, like a reflex because your body shuts down, blah blah blah. Like you could tell the way his arm went, like his body told him to stop. Then he proceeded to like, all right, next snap, I'm gonna just stand here in the pocket with this crappy offensive line and throw and that like a laser, like 30, 45 yards,
in tight
like
coverage.
Amen.
insanely tight coverage. And I feel like he gets no credit for that. But I don't know, like that was something that, like I said, I wanted him
You're
to
right.
start the game. Like I was like, okay, whoa, like this is week 2. Something's going on. Let's like we're here with the Chiefs. Like I said, like I have no fear against the Chiefs. Like Derwin James is slamming people on the floor. Our defense is fine. I have no fear. But you know, there's 17 games now in this NFL season. Let's take them out. Like, let's take them out. We go check them out. If it's broken, like let's fix it. Like, you know, for like the future. You know, because like I said, 17 games. Our defense is playing great at the time, so I'm not really worried about the Chiefs scoring a bunch of points. Like they dropped 44 on the Cardinals and then dropped 23 on us. Like I'm fine with 23 points. Our quarterback clearly could get 23 points. Like he's damn near right on par with Patrick Mahomes in this sense. Like I'm confident in this, but they kept him in there. He stayed in there. Hell of a performance.
Yeah,
Hell of a
I mean
performance.
y'all almost pulled
Amen.
it off, but to what? I guess that comes down to the players at the end of the day. So you out there, you go to the sideline. If they say, you know, there's a Ronnie Lott did something to his finger, he came to the sideline. Bro, we're gonna have to take you out of the game. This dude was like, cut it. Didn't they like sideline?
Yeah.
Right, like, but you forget, boy, these guys, this on another level.
Yeah,
Amen.
I want to walk.
I would say it was crazy for me because like I don't know, like I never played quarterback in like a passing system, but if I get hit, like if I get destroyed, I feel like you got to stay in the pocket and you got to deliver your passes. That's part of the game. You understand that, but like if I just got damn near broken ribs on the previous pass, and then the next passing concept is a post, like there's a deep post route. I'm not saying that that's like my primary receiver, but like that's the next. That's what the offensive coordinator called. There's no screen pass, no slant. Like a deep posting route is some of the like in the concept route. I'm like, ugh. I know I gotta wait for that to get there. Like I can't just throw that right away. Like he has to run. And like you said, if the coverage is there, I gotta go somewhere else, or I gotta
Well,
throw.
you know you're gonna get nailed.
You know this coming.
You know, let's keep it real. You know for a fact you getting ready to get nailed, and you
And that's
still
what the
compete
quarterbacks don't
fast.
get enough credit for toughness. Quarterbacks should get some credit for toughness. Not a lot. Like,
I
they
really
should
don't
get
think people give quarterbacks in general enough credit for toughness, for standing back there, getting hit in the mouth, getting
Yeah.
by the
knocked up out
biggest
of
and the most
here.
athletic dudes on the team, and who's like 6'7" would Von Miller come over there diving over your 300-pound like
Yeah,
like these dudes are like getting stopped. You know they coming anyway. Like
that's right.
And
And you're gonna get hit.
they feel like they built like rocks. Like they like
You're gonna get
know.
hit.
and they come in with hella bandit. Like they're not coming softly. They come in like they
Ferocious.
fighting. They fighting to get to you.
They are
Do you
ferocious.
understand? They are clawing and scratching to get to you every single time.
One thing, you know, when you look at the college game right now, and that's why I tell people this
Oh,
all the time. When they talk about Lamar Jackson and you know, they talk about they don't want to give him his money because he can't pass the ball. And you know, all you got to do is look at the college game and look at what the colleges are doing right now. Everybody's trying to find another Lamar Jackson. If he was so, if he wasn't the real deal, then everybody would be trying to find a Tom Brady kind of guy or a guy that's gonna stand back there in the pocket. But they know nowadays when you got defensive linemen can run 4.5, 4.6. You got linebackers
that
running
is
4.4, 4.5.
crazy.
You better get somebody back there that
You
can
got to
move.
get out of there.
You got to get out of there. See,
Can we
or you
talk
gonna
about
get
that
killed.
too? Can we talk about that too? Why in the world are 300-pound defensive tackles, defensive nose guards? What was that? Jordan Davis ran like a 4.5 at like 500 pounds. How?
Say what now? Say it again. 300-pound, 4.5.
Jordan Davis, let's see what his combine was. I'm gonna look at this dude. He was the biggest
I
dude.
don't believe you know 300-pound man ran no 4.5. I don't believe that. I mean I say it, but I don't believe no 4.5.
He ran up 4.68.
Okay.
Same thing.
4.7.
You can't tell me that's not the same thing.
Yeah. That's
If you want to talk step
one
to
step.
step, you want to talk about technical, like the difference between a 4.5 and a 4.6 is a step.
Is he fat?
Yeah, that's a
On
step.
your butt.
300 pounds, or is he on 300 pounds?
Let's see, what's his weight? So yeah, a 4.6, 840 at 346 pounds
346
at 6'6".
pounds.
At 6'6".
Right.
6'6", okay, that's
Look, it
tall.
don't make. He could be fat, muscular.
He's special.
Don't matter.
Oh,
With that
He's
much,
special.
yeah, with that much mass moving that fast,
He's special.
that's
He is special. You know, he
where's
is
he from?
special.
Let me find out.
So, because I just sit out of
Now,
another day
let me say this. Now, if at that size, at that speed, you would
No comment.
think that you would think he would be like Superman, wouldn't you? See, everybody you'd say, well, he got to be Superman. Why he not Superman? It's from
Have you seen him play?
the neck up. From the neck up. Determines whether you Superman or not. You know, look at Aaron Donald. So I don't know what he runs, what fast he is, but look how tough he is. And look how strong he is. He's Superman.
Jordan Davis is not Superman, but he's not no slouch now. He uses his body.
At that size, I'm saying he needs to be Superman. At 6'6", 340.
In the Eagles game, he was making some differences.
But he's a rookie this year?
He's a rookie. He's on the Eagles right now. He
Oh,
played.
okay, well, he's a rookie. Okay, but they're not different.
He played. He knocked down 2 screen passes.
Oh, he's a rookie. Okay. He just gets started. So, you know, it'll be a couple of years. You'll know whether he's Superman or whether he look like Tarzan and play like James. You know, you'll know that in a couple of years. Because I've seen him look like Tarzan and play just like James. So you'll be able to know that in a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Dude, there used to be a dude play for the Dolphins named Jackie Ship. Jackie Ship was, man, looked like Hercules, and him and his brother. And Jackie Ship was a boss. You know, and there's been a lot of come through like that. Look like Charleston and play like Jackie. So we'll see. We'll see in 2 years. Well, this year you'll start seeing. In 2 years, if he ain't what we talking about, from the neck up, he's soft and sorry. Soft and sorry.
Right. But and they coming like that. You know, it's evolution of the sports. People
But who making it?
just genetics over time. Everybody get bigger, faster, stronger. It's just now where's the limit? That's the question. So at some point, it has to be a
neck up. It's all from the neck up.
Just as far as like I meant you know, if you think about what offensive linemen used to look like put an offensive lineman in the 80s next to somebody in 2020, like they were playing the same sport. You know, back in everyone's right, they were a lot smaller. 280 was like, I think the Hogs back in the day with the Redskins, you know, I think maybe only 1 or 2 of them.
Something like that.
Right.
They were like 260, 270.
That's like at 260 right now. So
that's a tight end, yeah.
You could get speed, like even like
Travis
people that
Kelce's
run like back in the.
What is Travis Kelce?
Now, yeah, I was gonna say, look at every sport.
Travis Kelce 6'5", 250.
Right.
I'm not. But can we do some more tomorrow?
What are you saying?
Breaking up, we can't hear you.
I said, we do some more this tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, we'll holler.
Okay.
Take a special guest.
Much love.
All right.
Do light.
For sure. But yeah, these dudes, it's ridiculous now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was going. Well, we still on the chat, so I can't. Like me right now, I used to think about this the other day. Like if you were an athlete,
Mhm.
I guess you like you got to make somebody, but like, hey, come here, girl. What you
Mhm.
do? Are you athletes? Like how tall are you? How tall is your mama? Like I'm trying to make a football player.
I feel like they try to do this all the time. It never works. I feel like though, but I would say like there's a trend that I've seen that's worked, but it's not in football. I mean, like it's for football, but the athletes are not football players.
Yeah.
It's track stars. If the mom and dad did track, the kid is good at football. And they'll take like go for like if the mom was like a hurdler, you'll hear that one like, oh, my mom was a hurdler, my dad was just a boom. Like you need
Mm-hmm.
that like you need the hurdler ability in football. I feel like that's like a really athletic and really powerful gene or trait. Because I feel like if I think of all my hurlers too, like how they're built, you don't really see thin. You didn't see me being a hurdler. Like you saw dudes either like they were either like they mostly built. Like they weren't like big dudes, but
Right.
they were like your nice size person. People who were like 6'1", 6'2", could play
See,
receiver. Like they weren't your like linebacker dudes, but you're like 6'2" receiver. Six. Things that people like that. Those nature. I think those are like
and
the
then
perfect.
don't sleep on. There's another sport like if campus and you look at the female athletes on certain teams, right? Ball
Mhm.
players, right? Right. Volleyball players are super athletic. They can jump. Some of them have some size. Like volleyball players are
Mhm.
like as far as that transition, but look at this point now. So that's what it is. Like you said, you got to either be fast or
Yeah. I
yeah.
feel like
But yeah,
uh,
that's a
it looks
fact.
cool out there though.
It is. It look cool, but right now I'm getting like I've been ran off by I don't know, like it's a bee or a hornet because it don't like me. Like literally buzzes me like every time.
Mm.
I'm ready for the because the mosquitoes out here are having a field day.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well,
but that's pretty good. Yeah, we're gonna have to get off here so I can go today.
and
We've
it was a good one
been
too.
critical for a while, for sure.
We got a special guest too. He popped on for a bit. That was cool. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. We got another special guest want to get back on. He hit me up today,
okay.
Mr. Joe Morris.
Oh, I'm back on Joe.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah. The newly engaged, about to be a married man.
He's not married yet. I thought they got married. No, almost.
No, it's
Okay.
next year.
Oh yeah, weddings. But yeah,
Yeah, June next year, for sure.
that's cool. All right.
All right,
Well,
critical critics on that.
yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
All right, y'all. Peace.